Huskies are so much fun. I've always wanted to take some of that undercoat that they shed out when they blow their coats and make a garment from it. So I started researching it, and I started today. I actually was collecting undercoat from Little Bear, our oldest, who's 13, and today was the first day I started the process, which the first thing I need to do is I need to wash it, and then eventually I'm going to need to comb it with what are called carders and then spin it into yarn and then make the garment. So this is part one of that process, and we'll see how it goes. This is Little Bear's undercoat. Doesn't have much of a smell. Huskies are one of the few breeds that don't have a doggy smell. They don't have a smell. They're also hypoallergenic. But before I'm going to try to make garments out of this undercoat, what I want to do is I want to clean it. That's what they tell you to do. So I'm going to take this. This is just some of the fluff. And you don't want to compact it real tight, but when you get about this much, you want to clean it, set it out to dry, and spin it into yarn, and then I'll work with the next batch. But this is all undercoat. I'm just part of one of Little Bear's times when he was blowing his coat. He's just finishing up blowing his coat. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to show you how the proper way to wash it. You're supposed to wash it. I've been watching a lot of videos and reading some articles. So I'm going to pause this and then I'll show you how I'm going to wash it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use a little bit of my Tresemme shampoo. You don't want much. I just want like 2 or 3 drops. I'm only putting 2 little things in. Rinse my fingers off a little bit. And then you want to use hot, warmish water. You want to keep the water the same temperature or it ruins, it causes the fur to mat. So I'm going to put that in here. I'm going to fill this up. And little honey bear just woke up. So she may make a little noise for a minute or two, or you may have to pause this and take her out. She just got up from her morning nap. What I need to do is pull this away from here, get these suds out. I don't want too much soap in there. You only use a tiny bit. Taking all this out of here. Let that drain out. And this is going to take, I'm going to soak this undercoat. I call it Husky Fluff because it's the downy undercoat. You don't want the outer guard hairs in there because that'll make the yarn coarser and will make it itchy if you go to wear it, if you're wearing a hat or a sweater or a scarf. I'm hoping to make maybe a scarf. Okay, I got most of that out. I'll rinse this off out here. I don't want any of the suds in the sink. And now I'm going to get the hair. Be right back. Stay there, Keith. And you do not want to, from what I've read, you push it down, but you do not want to swish it or try to wash it. You just soak it. I think I might be able to get all of it in there. It's not very dirty. Little Bear wasn't very dirty when I was doing this. Just going to push this down. Again, you don't want to go swishing it or trying to wash it. You just want to soak it. Push this down. Take this last bit here. That's the end of that. So now what I want to do is just push this in here. And as you can see, I'm just pressing down. Maybe picking it up a little bit like that. And then I'm going to let that soak for about 10 minutes. And I'll be back after 10 minutes. See, like that. Rinse my hand. Okay, now for rinsing, I'm finding the easiest way to do it. Again, you don't want to let the hair go down the drain. I take my hands, I have warmish hot water, take my hands and gently press down like this. And all that water is just running over it. And then as I let go, it fluffs back up. You don't want to be swishing it around because you can damage the fibers of the hair. Again, I'm going to gently press it down, especially guarding that none of the hair comes over the side, and let it pop up. It'll start to rise up again. And again, I'm going to press down again, just gently. Especially my sink is tilted a little this way, so I really guard it on this side that none of the hair comes out of the pot into the drain. And I push down, gently push down. When I get it all the way down, you can see how the water is getting clearer and clearer. It did have a little tiny bit of dirt in it now that I let go. It's going to start coming up. This is actually white hair mixed in. And this, I don't know where that came from. That's a piece of plastic from the bag. I wonder what that was. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. I'll do one more time after this, and then I'm going to drain it, and then I'm going to put it out to dry outside in the sun. Again, I'm just pressing it down, not swishing it around or pulling on it or anything like that. And I'm letting go. It's a very gentle process. Just pushing it here and here, like that, to make sure we get all the soap out of it. And I'll do one more push down. And then let it come up again, fluff back up again. And I think it's pretty good. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it very carefully. I'm going to drain this. Don't want to get any of the hair coming out. I've got my hand there. I don't want to do it in a strainer. And I'll have to check my sink when I'm done, because I'm sure a few pieces will go down the sink. And hold this. It's a bad view on this side. But basically, and there is some hair. That hair I'm going to leave in there. I'm not going to try to put it back in here. Okay, and now what I did, I laid this out in the sun. This is the freshly washed fluff. And I have it here on this lawn chair near the farmer's field. It's a real sunny spot, and it's a little bit sheltered from the wind. I got to be careful that if the wind picks up, that it doesn't blow it around. But I don't want to be handling it much. And then, if you look really closely, you see this right here, this little hair. That's a guard hair. There's another guard hair. I don't know if you can. Trying to show it in here. See that longer pointy thing? There's little tiny guard hairs. They're the hairs on the outside of the coat. And what I want to do is I want to go through this and just remove the most of them. There's not many in there, but when you make a garment out of doggy fluff, Husky Floof I call it, you want to try not to have too many guard hairs, because they're not going to hurt anything. Actually, it'll strengthen the yarn, but it might make it a tiny bit itchy. Husky fluff is very soft, and of course this all will need to be combed and prepared for spinning. But so what I'm going to do next, I'm trying to show you another. See that long hair right there? Just going to go through real quick and pick out some of those long guard hairs. There's not too many in there, but I'm going to pick them out. Okay, now what I did, I flipped it over, and I'm drying it on the other side now. Picking out a few of the guard hairs. It's getting a little bit windier. I'm going to have to be careful. The best thing to do is to cover this like with a screen of some sort. And if you look here, I just hand spun this little bit of fluff just to show you. I don't have all the equipment that I need to do this, but eventually what I'm going to do is comb it, which I wasn't able to do with this yet, and then it will spin into yarn. This is hard to see against that color, but anyway, that's the colored yarn it will be. That's what it will look like. And now I brought the Husky Fluff in, and I put it on. I had an extra gate from one of the pens we have, and it's pretty dry, but it's not completely dry. You don't want it to. You want it to be completely dry. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I'm going to leave it completely dry out here. And I think I'm going to bring this video to an end. This is part 1, and I'm supposed to get hopefully the equipment I need to comb this and then spin it into yarn sometime next week. And then I'll do part 2 of it, so you can see how I comb it and then how I spin it into yarn. And then, of course, after it's spun into yarn, I can make a garment out of it. But I don't think this will be enough to make a scarf, but it will be enough to show you exactly what I'm doing. I think it's really interesting, very fascinated. It's been very easy to do. And this, of course, is all Little Bears, our 13-year-old buddy. And this here, if you can see right there, that little spot there, that got matted. And that's when I'm going to really need to have to be careful with combing it. But when you comb it, I have to learn how to do that the proper way. You don't want to break the fibers. You have to be real gentle with it. And when it mats like that, that's the problem. You don't want that to happen. I think that's the only really matted spot that I got out of this whole thing that I did today. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, bye-bye. Hopefully I'll be able to make the next video soon.